Yo guys, today, new setup here, again, like 7th setup or something, some dumb shit. But today we're talking about humility. So, I'm gonna make a statement here and I'm just gonna say, if you don't have humility, you're not really on self-improvement. So let's define humility real quick. Sounds like a pretty bad thing. Like some people, are over uh, humiliated. I don't know. They take it too far and they become self-deprecating. But when we mean humility, we mean having a learner's mindset and knowing that there is always more to know. So we gotta kind of walk the line here between self-deprecation and confidence. So if we have too much confidence and we're more arrogant, this is not a good thing. This is gonna not help us in the long run. But if we're self-deprecating, we don't believe in ourselves as much, and we're the opposite of arrogant, then this can lead us to being too complacent and not moving forward. So we don't want to be a self-deprecating loser. We want to have confidence at the same time. So when we say humility, we want to admit that there is more to learn and that we don't know everything, but we also want to have confidence that we can learn these things. Because if we just sit there and, oh, we don't know it, but also, oh, I can't learn these things, then there's no point. That's just self-deprecation. So we want to have confidence that we can learn these things. But like I said, don't be a fool, don't go too far in confidence and turn into arrogance. So, like I said, it's the learner's mindset that we're aiming for, and I think a good way to have this is to read books and just have more research in these topics. And a lot of people don't read. Like, I don't really know anyone else that reads in my personal life, and this is really strange because books, especially these older books with a lot of wisdom in them, and we can learn a lot from them, and this just kind of tells us that, when we're reading these, we have these realizations, oh, we didn't know these things, and that there's so much more to learn. So yeah, a good way to improve humility but also confidence is to dig deeper and research into something. Maybe read a book about it and just overall research about these things. And when you learn more, you get that feeling of there is so much more to learn, but also it's fun to learn these things. You realize that there is so much that I haven't learned and so much that I can learn and improve. This is a good feeling, knowing that there is so much room to improve in. And I was talking about arrogance and being egotistical before, and this is something I want to come back to, is it only goes so far and only helps so far. So if we have this confidence, it is good for the confidence to believe in yourself and have that in you, but it's also really bad from just how people view you. No one really likes people who are super arrogant. This is, a bad trait to have. And then also, if you fail with this arrogance and this overconfidence and ego and massive ego, then that gets crushed, and what you thought was isn't. And then this can lead to kind of the opposite, and then be self-deprecating because you realize that this confidence was just fake and you actually weren't as good as you thought you were. So if you are in between, then you don't fall into the self-deprecating or the overly confident. So this could be something in something. Oh, is it focused? Oh, I don't know. So this could be something in sports, maybe. Maybe you're I don't know, a fighter, and you're doing MMA and you're super confident because you're beating people and you have this super high ego, and then you lose a fight that you really thought you were going to win, and this ego just gets crushed, and this can turn to a lot of really negative emotions, and this is not what we want. We want to, like I said, have the humility. And this is something that I can share a personal story of, was when I did a lot of jiu-jitsu. So I used to do some MMA when I was about 7, 8 years old, and so it was like kickboxing and jiu-jitsu in the same class. And I wasn't good. Everyone in our class sucked because we were super young. But this was something that I really enjoyed. And then years later, I was 12 and I started again in just a jiu-jitsu club. And I had this confidence because I had this experience beforehand, so I came in thinking I was good, and then because I remembered, the moves and I remembered some things, but then I was losing to people who were a lot smaller than me and people who I thought I'd beat, and this ego of mine and this arrogance kind of got crushed, and luckily it turned to humility. I didn't fall into a self-deprecation, think I was really bad. I turned to the learner's mindset, and that actually was a motivation for me, that I was losing to a bunch of people that I thought I could beat. And from that learner's mindset, I really just absorbed as much information as I could. I actually became really good through this process over about 3 years of training. And that was because I had the learner's mindset and realized that I will lose to a lot of people, and I made a... Oh no, camera, don't. Sorry, this is scuffed as shit. It's taped to a chair. So yeah, I made all this progress through the learner's mindset, and knowing that I can lose to anyone, and it's really just about reviewing your mistakes and improving from there. Is this tilted? Tilted towers. So I'd suggest, like I said before, reading some books about this. I think a really good book to build confidence, but also not overconfidence, is The Magic of Thinking Big. I've talked about this multiple times, quite a lot on my channel. I know there's a book called Ego is the Enemy, I think. I have not read that. I do want to eventually, but I've heard that is a really good book if you do have struggle with ego. And like I said, Magic of Thinking Big if you are somewhat of a self-deprecator. So this is kind of what I have to say, guys. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and I believe in you. And let's do this together, guys. Get some humility, get some confidence, not overconfidence, not self-deprecation. And we're on this together. We're on this self-improvement journey together. Subscribe, and I'd love to see you follow with me, and we'll go through this together, because I am in the early stages of self-improvement. I've only been on this for, I don't know, less than 4 months. So, if you are just beginning and you think you can't do it, it is a really rewarding process, and I encourage you to follow with me, and we'll do this together. So yeah, believe in you guys. Thank you for watching. This was the scuffed ass setup I had. I had it taped on here on this chair, and it was just sitting in front of me. God damn it.